Good evening. We are looking at our sun in 211 angstroms here on July 17th. Now, these small dark patches are not officially considered coronal holes. We have a really long looping filament here to look at. We have a developing coronal holes that could later be classified as coronal holes, but they're not coronal holes yet. We have a really strong filament group developing down here that could lift off. We have a lot of snapping and popping out of this region here. We have some good stuff coming out of here, and we have a really active region rotating in down here to look at. So, looking at the flaring over the last 3 days, you will see we've had a large number of M-class flares that were CMEs, and we've had a lot of C-class flares that were considered CMEs. But the big news is the last 24 hours, and I'm going to switch to this. You can see we are consistently saying, as you rotate through here, we're staying above this B class range here. And you're staying long duration in a C class flare. That means we're getting enough C class flares that we're not dropping back down. And that matters. That's going to give us an elevated lift in and along probably the 20th, 21st. Looking at our sunspots, we have a couple of big players here. We have a good sunspot region here that's rotating in, and here is our big player that is rotating out. Now we have gamma or beta deltas. This means there's polarity within the one umbra. So this makes it more likely to flare because you have both polarities in one umbra. And then we have some that have a beta gamma delta, which are the gamma is they are not bipolar, meaning there are not the same or opposite polarity in one umbra. And then there are some spots within that grouping that are got bipolar within one umbra. So we have two of those. We have some alpha classes that are coming in that are just developing, and some B class flaring. Let's get down and look at these. Here is our outgoing flare that has consistently been flaring. Has dropped 5 C-class flares just in the last 24 hours. It is starting to shrink down and collapse as it reaches around the limb. It's going to disappear this cycle. It's starting to dissipate. It's as it goes around the sun. I do not look for this to last, at least not in this elevated condition. But it is still able, if it makes a big enough CME, to ripple around and cause a little bit of flaring far enough around the sun to hit us. Excuse me. This is our 3171 baby spot, just starting to develop. Nothing to talk about. 3372. This is our beta gamma delta. You have one big umbra that has one polarity to it, and then you have a grouping of bipolar. That means they're bipolar, meaning both polarities in one umbras. And there's 18 different sunspots in this grouping, and they're huge. So everywhere you see that red yellow bumping up against the blue and green, you're going to see the potential of flaring in those spots. because that's where the big loops can form and bump up against each other and twist and break. And that's going to produce CMEs. And this has produced 2 in the last 24 hours with the potential of producing more. 3373 is a gamma delta or a beta delta. This has been a big player today. This has got both polarity and one umbra, as you can see here in this snarly line here, that these are creating those large uplifting loops that are flaring and popping and bumping into each other and creating a lot of energy and are producing steady CMEs. And times where they're twisting and breaking and popping off and sending plasma out toward Earth. This one is, let me double check here, I do believe that is 3273 is right here. This is a day out of Earth facing. It could get even bigger in about a day and a half, because we're going to be Earth facing in about a day and a half. 2 days it's going to be in this region over here. Both of these will be where they really go to town. So both of these are going to be hitting that area in the next 2 days to where they're really at a point they can produce some big flaring. So pay attention in the next 24 to 48 hours. These may really go to town. Okay, coming back down here, 34 or 74 is not anything much. 3375, nothing much. 3376, yeah, it's developing. It's a baby sunspot. It's coming around. It's a beta class. It can develop, and I look for it to develop. It's on our incoming limb, and we know that these quiet, they get Earth facing, they really go to town. And then we have 3377. This has produced a C-class flare. This could become a big player as it rotates in and when it hits Earth facing again. That's got about 4 days before it could really kick off and be a big threat potential. So we have a really active forecast with consistency for these, what we've been seeing to happen. Now I want to roll back. I'm going to roll back all the way back, because it takes about 48 hours to 3 days, depending on the speed of the CMEs, to hit Earth. So I'm banking what started happening last night when we started spiking up is a combination of these slower CMEs. First one, it's moving at 600 and some kilometers per second. That is super slow. That may be what our first spike in activity was last night. That may have been that it's super slow. Now this one is moving a little bit faster. Here's another CME. It's moving in. This is early morning hours on the 13th, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it hit Monday. This one's moving slower than that one. So, and this was a massive, good size CME. So this one was a little bigger angle. Okay, so we had this spike. This could have been kind of the first punch to what hit last night. Then we roll ahead until we hit midday on the 14th. Massive CME. This could have been their first KP5 that hit. And this one was moving super slow. We've had a second hit right behind it by just mere couple hours. So that could have been the second quick punch that was right behind the first, because we had several spikes in activity last night and today. Then rolling ahead, that was on the 14th, midday on the 14th. We get just into the evening on the early morning hours of 15th. We have yet another CME. This one is moving a little bit faster. So I think this might be the second last punch. And now we're up to the 15th. Early morning hours, like about 3 o'clock in the morning, our time, we have a larger potential halo hit. Massive, dense halo hit going out here, but enough that it rippled around the face of the sun to present a full halo. That will be coming at us, I think, sometime this evening. So it's moving quickly. Behind it is a slow one. It's moving out slower. Another massive CME. Behind it, moving faster, is another halo hit. This one's a big one, and it rippled around the sun. They didn't think it was going to be full halo, and they're predicting it is now. This one is going to catch up with this one because it's moving faster. So right here, you may end up with a little bit of a scoop shovel because it's moving fast enough. Right here, this is nearly double the speed. It's not going to be far behind the other ones, and it's a much faster, much more dense CME. So this may be riding the coattails not too far behind this one. So we may get really active tonight. And they may come boom, boom, boom. There's going to be spike after spike after spike. And what I'm saying to you newbies is this is going to be a night where you got to sit out there all night long. And if you don't have a clear sky, look at get your radar out and you look for the holes, because you're not going to want to be missing these, because they could combine and become bigger if one of these halos is moving slower and one of these fast halos picks up and pushes the slower one, and they combine. We're going to go over that G1 storm prediction that they think they're going to get. And it's happened before, and I'm going to tell you right now that these predictions are only right half of the time. And this is the type of night that you have a crapshoot of a night where it could go below what's expected, or it could go way above what's expected. It's anybody's guess to how fast these are going to be moving and whether they're going to start combining and picking each other up. So this one's a super fast one. That one happened at 8 o'clock on the 15th. So at about, just after midnight on the 16th, we have another larger CME, denser, much more dense, much more full halo hit than the last one. That is just a few hours behind the second one. It's like 4 hours difference, moving just slightly smaller or slower, but there's a lot more plasma to it. So this may be a 1-2 punch. And that should be coming in tonight. And then that happened about midnight. And then this is happening, and then about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which this may come in the afternoon tomorrow. We've got yet another halo hit that is long duration, massive amount of energy that may graze us, and it is moving at about the same speed. If they got the speed right, you know, that may come in the afternoon. It may catch up with this. It's a crapshoot. But it's not going to stop. Then shortly behind, following that, just a little bit slower, tomorrow night, here comes more. Here's the second 1-2 punch that's got double tap halo hit. Super dense, double tap. We have yet another halo hit, following a few hours behind it. And another double tap there that's massive. So, and then in between, we have all these little bitty halo hit, or CME sparking off, that are partials. So look for this energy to be consistent, to be up there with spikes. And if you're not sitting right under that spike when it happens, you're going to miss it. They are sudden. They last for maybe they can last for 15 minutes, they can last for an hour, and then they're gone. So unless you're out there sitting under them, you're going to miss them. And these spikes are moving at different speeds, at different angles, and at different densities, and they may scoop each other up, and they may combine with each other, and they may push each other around. And if they do, that G1 could very easily become a G2 tonight. Right now, we have a G1 storm prediction. Nearly a KP5. More often than not, when we get this close to a unpredictable event with this many CMEs, we have a tendency to go over. Especially if we have situations where there could be some scoop shoveling going on. We have had 3 hits. We've had 3 hits go on so far. So we're looking for the big stuff tonight. Then we're going to drop off of the 19th, and then we're going to pick up again probably the 20th, 21st. We have 3 massive sunspots over the next week that are going to be rotating in right into the hot zone. That could really go to town. So for the next week, we have the potential of those turning into something. Fingers crossed, things don't get quiet. Now, our smoke. Upper Wisconsin, Michigan, Wisconsin, you have the best chance you've had in a long time of having the least amount of smoke that you've had in a long time. We're looking, there's some out there, but if the lights are strong enough, they're going to show through this. We may have a little bit of an issue with cloud cover, but with that, these are broken clouds. Get out there and try and get underneath or through that cloud cover, see what you can find. Don't just say, oh, it's cloudy outside, I'm not going to do anything. Get that radar out, zoom it in, look for the holes. Tuesday, we may have some rain and showers moving in over the UP for a while and eastern Michigan. Then Michigan and Wisconsin should clear Tuesday into Wednesday. Wednesday into Thursday, there may see some rain showers over Minnesota and Wisconsin. And then Thursday, we are due to have rain showers over Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. But it is needed. I hate to say it, but we do need the rain. A lot of places are really dry and are starting to see some wildfires. I'm going to leave you with that. We have hope. More than we've had in a long time, we have hope. Don't forget to get your fireworks out. We're going to leave this open until August 1st. Get out there, get your firework pictures in the post. People, please get out there and vote for those people. Give them your vote. Tell them which ones are best so they can have a chance at getting the stickers that are the prizes. And everybody get out there and try tonight. It's your best chance in a long time. Get out there and try.